Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Ashley. I'm a homeschooling mom with 7 kids. We have kids from 6th grade all the way down to 7 months. We love to travel. A lot of videos will be about road trips and road travel and things like that. So I wanted to do a video, actually a homeschooling video, on what I have learned about homeschooling. This will be going on, this is our 3rd year. We will be going into our 4th year. What I have learned this whole time throughout these 3 years, and what I thought I knew at the beginning that maybe I learned just along the way that I was wrong. Okay, so a schedule and curriculum. When you think about all the different curriculums and you see all the different curriculums that are out there, it can be so overwhelming. And I thought for me, when I first started, now we came from public school. So my older two, my first 2 kids were in public school. So it was a bit of a transition. So if this is you, then I understand where you're coming from. I thought that a schedule and a curriculum had to be set in stone. It does not. I thought that once I picked that curriculum, that was it, and I couldn't change. And I can't tell you how many times I've changed curriculum since then, since we started. So that, along with the schedule and trying to duplicate a public school type schedule. Now that might work for some people. You know, if you have 1 or 2 kids, that might work, where it's easy for you to set aside by hour the time in which you do school. For me, with having so many kids and so many different ranges of ages, I can't do that. I try and do it very loosely, but I can't. I just can't do it from 9 to 10 we're doing this, 10 to 11 we're doing this. But that was a big misconception. Something that I thought that you had to do was make a super strict schedule. You do not have to do that. They are not set in stone, obviously. So when, you know, let's say you decide that you want to try a certain way of homeschooling, a certain schedule type as you start, and then you want to change, it is okay to change. I thought this is how we have to do it the whole year. I have X amount of time to pick and that's it. Not true. It is okay to take mental health days. There are some days, whether it's me, whether it's the kids that just need to like cool down. There are days where we just need to take the day and say, just calm down, just take a breather for a minute. There is nothing that says you can't do that. An example, you will catch up on your schoolwork. They will catch up if you need to take a day. An example being my kindergartner now, we had changed math curriculums, and we were probably a month in maybe, and I decided that we were going to switch, and we have caught right back up. In fact, we are probably ahead of my older 2 kids. So, you know, those little you know, roadblocks that you might consider roadblocks throughout the year that you think are like so huge, you will get past it. So just know that you can take mental health days. If you need to say, we just need to go outside for the day. We just need to, I mean, it is okay. Your sanity is more important than finishing that lesson. Because if you are teaching them and you are like super high strung because you have 10 million things going on, or they are just moody as all get out, just let them take a day. Let them take a breather, because they will not benefit from anything that they are learning that day at all. Also, learning does not always come from the textbooks. Now, I am not like hey, we're going to go outside and nature is your schoolroom. That's not like every day. That's not what I'm saying. But if you are homeschooling, there are so many things that you can learn outside of textbooks, especially if you need those mental health days. They can learn stuff outside also, and without you even realizing it. But, you know, I'm not one of those homeschoolers that's like anti-textbook, like, no. But I feel like there are a lot of things that people don't think about, that you can absolutely learn outside the classroom, and whether it's field trips also, field trips, or, you know, going out of town to certain places. Like I mentioned, going on vacation, we learned so much stuff. My kids learned so much stuff, you know, depending on where we're going. There are just so many things that you can learn and they can learn and gain the knowledge on without just having their face in a textbook all the time. Just keep that in mind, that, you know, having them sit for 8 hours a day is not always the best thing for them. But they can learn so many things outside of the classroom. I've mentioned this, do not try and duplicate public school. Now, with that being said, some of you might feel like that is how you operate. And that is the only way that you can stay sane, is if you have that exact perfect schedule. And that is okay. But I have learned, do not think that that is the only way to do it. I tried to do that at the beginning. I tried to do an exact schedule, and it did not go so well. So obviously the more kids I had, the more difficult the schedule became. So taking that into account also, but know that you don't have to have an 8 to 3 or a 7 to, I don't even know what the times are now, 7 to 3, 8 to 3, every day. We are typically done by lunch, which I never thought when I first started that was going to be the times that we schooled. I thought it was going to be from this time we wake up and this time we're done. And, you know, I don't know. I don't even remember, frankly, how I thought that was going to happen. But most of the time we are done by lunch. So do not think that you have to duplicate the public school system, because that is what I thought when I first started. Including all of your kids in as many subjects as they can. A lot of the activities that I do, I gear it towards all my kids. So I have 7, I'll say what I have now, not my incoming. So I have 6th, 3rd, kinder, pre-K, and then I currently have a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old, and then a 7-month-old. So I try and incorporate as much as I can. I have said this before, that I keep calling him 7th grader. I'm trying to rush time. I don't know why I'm doing that. My 6th grader will find the joy in anything that I put in front of him as far as activities. There is nothing that he feels like he is too old to do when it comes to school activities. He loves being involved. And I think that's also the beauty of homeschool. But if you can incorporate your kids and figure out, even if you have to tweak a few things to make some activity a little bit more challenging for one kid versus your pre-K or your kindergartner, do that, because it makes life easier and it makes it more enjoyable for all your kids to be included in this. And so you're not sitting here trying to separate activities and lessons or, you know, just different fun things that you have planned. Try and include all of your age groups in your this doesn't have to be, hey, you're in 6th grade, you're in 3rd grade, you're in kinder. No, let them all do things together, because it helps so much. It helps them and it helps you. And finally, being self-disciplined. So, you know, at the beginning when I started, I didn't have, I helped them with homework, but that was the extent of my responsibility for having kids in public school. Learning how to self-discipline has been incredibly difficult for me. Now I am a type A personality, so I like to have things like, I love organizing. I love having things just perfectly organized in front of me. That doesn't happen either all the time. I try sometimes and then I get ahead of myself and I'm just like, it's overwhelming. So, self-discipline in making sure that you are organized, but giving yourself some slack too. You know, I didn't have all that responsibility, obviously, when my kids first started school. My oldest, I had through 3rd grade in public school, and my second, I had through kindergarten in public school. And the self-discipline that I've had to learn has been a little bit challenging, especially as I get more kids in various grades. So just know that you will have to be somewhat self-disciplined in this. But give yourself the freedom to take the mental health days, because that is okay. Don't mistake self-discipline for total control, where you have to have the strict schedule and you have to have the perfect curriculum and you have to have all these things that you thought that made you so overwhelmed when you started homeschooling. You don't have to have all that. It is on your own terms and your own schedule. As long as they finish their stuff and you feel like that's adequate and what they've finished is what they need to know, then you've done your job. So these are just some things that throughout the 3 years, going into my 4th year, what I have learned as I started homeschooling versus now, or what I've learned now versus when I started homeschooling. Just a few tips. If you can think of any other things that might help somebody, leave a comment down below. If you have any questions or any other, any concerns, any extra advice, because I am always up for advice. I don't care how many kids I have. I will always take advice. Let me know, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.